The Lord calling you and you and Thank you so much for coming today.
And all the attention is going to be on you. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for people to say, over and over again?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. What's going on, family? You know who it is. Monica Sekhmet Grant, Young Boss Media, coming live from the bathroom. Just like BET, live from the basement. We in the bathroom. Hey, what's going on, world? It's your girl, Monica Sekhmet Grant. You know what time it is. It is Mentorship Call. Now, on today's Mentorship Call, we are going all the way out to Ghana to speak to a brother. His name is Mark Darko. He is the president of the Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as well as the CEO of Heritage Capital Management. Now, we don't have a lot of time, so we want to make sure that we hit on the right points, get his information, and figure out how he can help us. We can help the world. So let's bring in Mark. Mark, how are you doing today?
Hey, Monique, I'm fine. Yourself?
All is well over here. All is well over here. Thank you for asking. It's a rainy day, but we make things work no matter what. Now, the first question I just want to ask, and I ask everybody, is tell us about your background as far as the Asian African Chamber of Commerce and the Heritage Firm. Tell us about your background.
Okay, Monique. Thank you for the opportunity, and good afternoon to our cherished viewers. Yes, my name is Mark. I guess most of you have already seen my profile. I'm currently the CEO of Heritage Capital Management and a partner to some other financial institutions like Schode International Finance and SCG. Like you also said in your intro, I'm currently the president of Asian African Chamber of Commerce, Ghana chapter. So I'm a man wearing several caps. I'm a CEO of a financial institution and also a chairman of a transnational chamber. I'm the third born of my parents. We are four kids actually. I'm the last boy. So I have a senior brother and a sister ahead of me. I started my training from Accra Polytechnic, where I studied. Now it's Accra Technical University, where I just studied marketing at higher national diploma level. So after my marketing, I fortunately got posted to the Port of Tema to go and do my national service. So that's where I went to learn international trade finance, things like going to the port, customs brokerage, moving goods from post to post, export, import, and all that. Then subsequently, I got myself into an institution that had something to do differently from what happens at the port. That's a financial institution. So I was in a microfinance company where I was a credit control officer. I rose through the ranks in that institution and became a manager and even a director. So that was where I learned finance. And I think I was spotted by my people, the microfinance practitioners. They realized that I was good in finance. So there's an association that has a training school called the GAMC Training School. So over there, I was enrolled as a faculty. So I was teaching my colleague microfinance practitioners how to practice proper microfinance. Thereafter, I got myself into investment banking. Investment banking is quite related to microfinance. So I trained at the Ghana, the stock exchange school, where I trained in investment banking, stock trading, and anything and everything related to investment banking. So I needed to do something academically to back what I'm doing. So I went into a postgraduate program and I did postgraduate in international finance. So after that, I was appointed as CEO of Heritage Capital and all its other subsidiaries. And it's been on and on and on and on. So many other institutions, they look at what I'm able to do, my prowess and experience when it comes to financial intermediation, and they enroll me to also help them. So I have a couple of institutions that conduct, they're into finance, so they contact me when they need any advice and they need help in managing finance. They come to me and I assist as well. So I do so many things, and I was recently appointed the president of the chamber. You know, the chamber is a transnational chamber, so it's a chamber that covers both Africa and Asia. It's a huge portfolio that I am sitting on. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 has made it a bit difficult. We have just started. We are trying to build our base in Ghana, but because of Corona, we are unable to get a lot of people as we targeted, initially anticipated. So these are some of the things we are doing. So as you keep asking me the questions, I will be explaining some of these things into details for you and your viewers.
Thank you. So yeah, I do have a few questions coming from that. So you studied marketing in Accra, and then you just kept going. You just kept developing your career, kept digging into just different parts, finance, credit. Tell me this: what from your background, like were your parents in business? What was it that just kept you motivated to learn more about money other than making money, right? Because to many people, it's complex, it's dense. I remember I saw Steven Schwartzman at an event, and he said, there is no shortage of money. And at that moment, I said, I need to study this man. I need to figure out what he knows. And so I started reading every book about investment banking, hedge funds, mergers and acquisitions. And so for me, I wanted to know, like, what is happening in this world and why are people getting rich and why are some people not getting rich, right? What is it within you that wants to learn and continue in the finance world? What motivates you?
Okay, morning. Thanks for the question. You see, the joy of seeing people happy is what motivates me. It's not about the money. For instance, when we were practicing microfinance, I was happy to see people lifted from poverty. So there is this woman on the market who doesn't have a clear understanding of how to manage her money, how to manage herself. She doesn't have basic accounting skills and so on and so forth. So we go in and train them. You train such people, you see that they build appreciation for the work they are doing, and then they know how to handle money. So you train them that way, and they are able to make a living for themselves. You are able to, by means of training, lift them out of poverty. They become self-sustaining. Their businesses do not collapse. So my joy actually is not in, a lot of people are into investment banking, like you said, to make money, because there's what we call information asymmetry in our industry. Not everybody who understands the world of finance, when it comes to financial management, it's not everybody who understands. So most people do not have a lot of information when it comes to financial issues. So for instance, typically, when you are watching the evening news at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, you watch everything, even weather reports. But when it comes to business news, you see people switching. So a lot of people do not really have a good understanding of business and finance. So that is something that I am motivated to help people appreciate. See, people who want to pay money to legal practitioners to help them if they have legal issues. They are ready to pay money to doctors, medical practitioners when they are sick, but they do not want to speak to financial managers when it comes to money management. Everybody thinks that he's a boss on his own, so they want to manage things the way they want. And most of the time, it lands people into trouble. So you see that companies will begin today, within a short period of time, because they are unable to manage their affairs financially well, they collapse. So when we as practitioners, we have a lot of information and experience on the market, because we have a research team that does a lot of research, both on the micro and the macro market, and gives us the feedback. So we know what is happening in our economy, for instance. We know the inflation rate. We know how to let people manage themselves when it comes to exchange rate differences, when they are doing business using dollars and cedis and so on and so forth. So when we train these people and impart that knowledge, and we see that they are making progress financially, then we are happy. So that is my motivation. So when people are happy, they make money, then we can also make money. It's not the other way around.
I understand that clearly. You want to help other people make money, and then we help ourselves. I love that. And you're right, people, and that's why, like, even in my interviews with business and entrepreneurs and business developers, I want to make it lively and engaging, because you know, if you're not used to watching MSNBC or the business CNN and all that, you're going to turn it. It's boring. You don't get it. And so what I like to do is bring the liveliness into the business conversation. So, you know, folks can move along and pick up the conversation. So I agree with you 100%. With Heritage Capital, can you speak about how you are helping people, particularly like somebody watching this? What like advice do you give to your clients that they should be looking for or they should be learning about their finances? How should they be handling themselves right now?
Great. So, like I said, our business is financial intermediation. And all the time, we have two units on the market. We have the deficit unit and the surplus unit. So all the time, there are people who have money in excess, and they need to be taught how to manage that money. There is a saying in our industry that cash is money loser. So if you have money in excess, you lose money by keeping that money. There are also people who do not have the money at all, although they have brilliant ideas that if they have capital, they can put those ideas into practicable use. So we as practitioners of financial intermediation, we sit in between to keep the balance. So those who have money in excess, for instance, what will you do with your excess money? Will you take it to a bank? And even if you are taking it to a bank, which bank are you taking it to? And if you walk into a banking hall, the ROs or the marketing people, they will approach you and start selling so many banking products to you. So which one best qualifies for you to buy into, for instance? So you need to be taught about these things. There are people who make money and invest the money in wrong places. So they end up losing all the money that they have. So if you approach us at Heritage, for instance, and you tell us, you're able to tell us who you are, how much money you have in excess, how long you can keep the money with other people, then we can prescribe a good financial product for you. Okay, looking at your background, it's better you buy a treasury bill because you are risk averse. Looking at your background, you are young, so you can afford to invest in stocks, in equities, for instance. So maybe from 5 years from now or 10 years from now, you can go and sell your shares and make more money. I'm talking about those who have excess money. Now, when it comes to those who do not have the money at all and they need money, we also help them because you come to us and then we're able to match you with those who have excess funds. And we're able to train you as well. Most of the time, it happens that those that approach us saying they don't have money to do a business, when we interview them, we realize that it is not money that they need. They rather need training. So you realize that there are people that if you do not really speak to them and they themselves are not aware, they are not conscious of their need, you end up giving people money when they don't need the money. Then they run into trouble. So you hear that somebody has gone to a bank, is going to borrow money, and the business collapsed and the bankers are after him. So we try to stabilize, like I say, all the time to people that I speak to, we have to balance the scale so that there's no excess money and there's no deficit money too.
Understood. There's some people that have money right here. There's some people that have money, and there's some people that need the money, and you bring them together. So my question is, I have two questions. Bring them together. The people that have money, are they like, do they have to be like high net millionaires, or can they be middle class, you know, individuals that have a little pot that they want to invest over the long term? And then second, is this private equity? Are they getting a percentage of their company, or is it just the interest that they're getting back? How does it work?
So, Monique, you don't have to be a high net worth person or a billionaire to have excess money. You'll be surprised that even you, Monique, you have excess money. You may have some money in your pocket right now that you do not have immediate use for. If you keep the money with you, the money can vanish. Sometimes what happens is that because you have money, you walk into a shop and you do impulse buying. If you did not have money, you could have survived. So all the time we speak to people, if you do not also buy with your money, what will you do with your money? If you keep it in your house or in your room, in Africa here, for instance, our inflation rate is very high. So for instance, our inflation rate right now is hovering around 9%. So if you have money and you keep it with you over a period of time, the value of the money goes down. So the money has to work. So people who come to us are not most of the time high net worth clients, billionaires like the Rockefellers and co. All of us, at any point in time, will have some excess money. So you need the expert to help you know how to invest it. Sometimes people say that the money is too small, so it doesn't qualify to buy an investment product. There's something called collective investment scheme, where you do not have to have a lot of money. If you have $1, for instance, I have $1, and we are 100 people, we all have $1, put them together, it's $100. So we can pull those monies from individuals together, and the money combined value is high, and you're able to use it to purchase a financial instrument, and the returns can trickle down to the individual beneficiaries or contributors of that money in the fund. That is what we call the scheme, the collective investment scheme, like mutual funds, like unit trusts, and so on and so forth. So when you approach us, we're able to explain some of these things to you, educate you as to how to put to good use your excess money.
Awesome. And the next question is it a private equity firm? Are they taking percentages of the company, or is it something else?
So private equity simply means that there's a company that has money that invests in another company, but does not expect that the money be paid back as a loan. So it's not debt. You invest and you become part of the company. So there are private equity firms around that we have relationships with. That if we have a fund that is patient capital. Patient capital means that it's not money that you need immediately. You can spend that money for 5 years, 10 years. The private equity practitioners were able to give them the fund, and then they will invest in companies that they think that over a period of time, the value of those companies will rise. So for instance, I have $1 and I decide to give it to a private equity company. The private equity company is instead able to invest in a company like Apple or in a company like Coca-Cola. So I call myself a shareholder of Coca-Cola, a shareholder of Apple, although my money is small. So when the shares of Apple or Coca-Cola rises or appreciates, it trickles down, and I also make money out of it. So you make money from the capital that goes up, and also what we call dividends at the end of every year. So that's private equity.
Understood. So my last question on Heritage Capital is, do you have to, can you only be in Ghana? Can you be in America and invest with Heritage?
Yes, we are not based in Ghana alone. In fact, our headquarters is in Milan, in Europe. We also have an office in California, Los Angeles, as we speak. We have an office in South Africa too. So you don't have to be in Ghana to have access to the services of Heritage Capital. Our office in California, for instance, for those of you who are in the US, the office is accessible to all of you. And those in Europe, we have an office in Milan too. And one thing that we also do for, and I want to talk about it, for clients that come to us, is what we call trade finance. There are a lot of people now who have interest in going into trade. Now it looks like everybody wants to do a side business. Because now, especially for salary earners, everybody is saying that you can't rely on just your salary. So you have to be able to do something extra to generate more income for you. This trend is growing. So for instance, if you look at the phone of Monique, you see that on her WhatsApp status, she's selling shoes. Although she's a media person, she's selling cosmetics, for instance. So, I mean, everybody wants to do business. So it's one of the things that we do, trade finance. And especially because here in Ghana, we are an import-driven economy. Most people import the goods that they sell, and they need financial instruments that will help them import. So you are in America, I'm in Ghana, and you sell cosmetics. I don't know you. I only saw you perhaps on the internet. And you said you have cosmetics to sell. And I also have people who want to buy cosmetics. Maybe your price is lower, and I think I can bring it down and sell it to those who can buy at an extra charge and give me some income. How will I trust you? How will I give you? How should I trust you and give you my money? What if I give it to you and you do not ship it to me? On the other hand, you also ask me, if you ship it to me and I don't also pay you, how do you find me? So this is paid finance. So you typically find us, companies like Heritage Capital, coming in to come and establish what we call trade instruments, like letters of credit, like standby letters of credit, RWA services, and so on and so forth. And these are things that we use the banking affiliates that we have to establish. So it is established, and then the exporter knows that he has a bank guarantee of $200 in his account. So the bank says, I have guaranteed ship. So what's your problem? So when you ship and you present some documents that prove that you've really done your part of the job, then the bank will release money for you. So these are the trade instruments that we structure for clients who come to us who have interest in doing international business. I know you have interest in that area.
I have a question. So say I have cosmetics, shoes, makeup, coffee, and I'm here in America. Can I contact you and say, do you have any buyers of this in Ghana or Milan or wherever you have offices? Can I pitch to you and then you be the middleman to find a person that would like to sell them?
Good question. So we are not into the business of buying from you and selling. But because we are here and we establish trade instruments, on my table, for instance, I have a lot of people who have come to me who have expressed interest in importing certain items because they need the instruments from me. So I'm able to recommend, okay, so this is a credible buyer. Monique, this buyer wants to buy shoes. Do you have shoes to supply? Yes. So my work is to do the intermediation, put the two of you together, and also help establish a financial instrument that makes your business seamless. So I'm not buying anyway, but I am recommending and facilitating the trade. So that is how it is.
Mark, we're in business. That's all I wanted to hear. Now, before we wrap up, I want to talk to you about the Asian African Chamber. Tell me about that, particularly during COVID, and what is it? What's the business between? Because I know like China is big on the African continent. What are you working to do with the chamber? What does it look like?
Okay, so it's a chamber of commerce and industry. It's a chamber where we have businessmen who have various interests that have been brought together as a unit to interact among themselves. So it's a chamber that brings businesses together to speak. So this is a fine arrangement that helps people who want to identify business partners to come together. So for instance, let's say I deal in phones and you also are somebody who buys phones. If the two of you are in the chamber, we bridge you, put the two of you together, and you're able to meet yourselves from the trade missions and the seminars and the webinars. Now, because of COVID, we have been organizing. You're able to identify business opportunities among yourselves as chamber members and then do business. Additionally, we are advocates at the government level when it comes to policy making, regulation, and so on and so forth, environmentally, for the business practitioners. Because we know that if a businessman will succeed, policy and regulation is very important. And sometimes if you leave all these things to the mercy of politicians, they will make laws that favor just them without bringing the interest of the business people or the industry practitioners to bear. So we as a chamber, we become the mouthpiece of these people at government level, for instance. So regularly we organize trade missions both in Africa and Asia and elsewhere, where we know that we are able to, by means of these trade missions, identify our colleague chamber members elsewhere and also bring them under one umbrella and we interact. So the chamber does so many good things.
That's great. I'm interested in, particularly now with COVID, and is there any kind of backlash between Asian African relationships? Is there any issues? Because I know, like on this side of the Atlantic, right? There's African Americans, and Africans feel like the Asians are moving in. They're not giving Africans an opportunity. What is it for you? Like, you know, because you're in the thick of it, you're actually organizing these groups together. What is your perspective of African and Asian relationships when it comes to business on the continent?
Okay, so if I heard you well, if we want to situate your question within the ambit of COVID, you know, everybody's looking at COVID from its negative perspective, and it's true. COVID is killing people, and we are not happy about it. But have you thought about the positives too? Because of COVID, or because COVID has come, now people are thinking of how to interact with themselves without necessarily physically traveling. Last 2 years, I spent more than $100,000 alone in travel. Can you imagine? Now borders are closed, and I need to speak to Monica, for instance. Monica is in US, and she's in her studio, and she's speaking to me in real time. Those days, Monica may say that, Mark, why don't you jump on a plane and fly and come to US? So maybe because of just this interview, I have to come to you. Now, COVID has made it impossible to come. So it's helping us to be more creative and innovative by coming out with some of these technological assistance and advancements that we have, for instance, your media have Zoom and all that, so we can interact. So that's one positive thing that we are getting from COVID. So in this chamber, for instance, we've been organizing webinars instead of seminars. So on Zoom, we can organize a webinar. You can have 100, 200, 300 people on one webinar. You're able to interact and send your contacts across. Speak to people real time, and you do business. So these are some of the things we are seeing, and I think when humans as we are, the way God created us, when we find ourselves in a challenge, the brain is so sharp that it's able to create alternatives, and then you see that you are fine. Even if it is not as it used to be, the challenge alone helps you to do proper thinking and you find solutions. So I've always been telling everybody I meet and my team members that look at the positives of COVID, make good use of it. We know that one day the doctors are working hard, they may find a cure. If they do, we'll go back to our old way of doing things. If not, we still have to continue.
Awesome. Last question, we want to wrap up. I am a Pan-Africanist, so I'm all over Africa, all over America. Can I be a part of the chamber, or is it only for Africans born on the continent?
Okay, I'm happy to know that you are an African and a Pan-African. The chamber is not restricted to only people resident in Africa or resident in Asia. No, everybody can be part of the chamber. Yes, that is an intercontinental chamber where we are promoting cross-trade between these two continents. You know that Africa, when it comes to business, imports, for instance, we import a lot from Asia, more than the Americas and Europe. And Asia plays a heavy role on our economy. So if you are part of the Chamber of Commerce that covers these two continents, then you can take advantage of the influence positively, of course, the Asian continent has on Africa and vice versa. So you don't have to be resident here before we can accept you to be a member of the chamber.
Got it. So I would love to join and to be on these webinars and to be a part of the conversations. Now, I want to thank you so much for your time. Can you please tell everybody how they can find Heritage Capital and the Asian African Chamber of Commerce? If you can tell us your websites or social media handles, that would be great.
Of Asian African Chamber of Commerce is in India. We'll give you the website for everybody to visit. You'll see that on the website, you'll see that I'm the representative for Ghana. And we have an office here in Ghana representing the Chamber internationally. Heritage Capital is also here, like I told you, in Ghana. We are headquartered in Milan. I'll share with you the site. The website is www.myheritagecapital.com. Those watching us can visit the site of Heritage Capital. Our contacts are all the telephone numbers and our email addresses are there. You can always call us for anything about trade, anything about finance, let us know. We are always there to help you. If you are already making money, to help you sustain your success. If you have not started, then we'll also teach you how to start to make money.
Mark, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate all that you do. You are helping people with their money, and money changes everything for everybody. Our communities need to be funded so we can have better education, safety, security, peace of mind, health, stress-free lives, just really bliss and happiness. And you are doing a lot. And so I want to honor you and just let you know that you are appreciated for the work that you're doing. Because I know a lot of business people don't ever get respect, And so like the work that you're doing is very important. So I thank you for this interview, and I thank you for your time, because I know that you're a very busy man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, Monique. And I can assure you that this is my first time, but it will not be my last. Anytime you invite me to come and explain anything or educate people in your studios, I'm always available. I'll make the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mark. I'm going to close out the show. I appreciate you again. That was amazing. That was amazing. I hope you learned something. One, this brother is helping people, whether you got a little bit of money or you got a lot of money. We all got some excess change that can be invested to, one, bring back money to ourselves, to invest in the long term. But also there's entrepreneurs like yourself watching that need those funds. So he's bringing a lot of people together, even with the Asian African Chamber. He is an organizer. He's a money organizer and bringing people together so that they can help themselves and do better business, because all of our communities need business. We need business development. We need our economy circulating our dollars over and over and over again. We can't keep giving our money away to other communities, to other people that are not investing back in us. So that was the conversation for today. So I appreciate you so much for watching. And before we go, make sure that you go and get your copy of Mind Your Business and Prosper. It is open for pre-order right now. And what that means is if you order it before Monday, August 17th, I will sign it. So this is the book right here, Mind Your Business and Prosper. And what that means is take care of yourself, take care of your mind, love yourself, love your people. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask big questions. Ask for $100,000, ask for $50 million. Do what you got to do. A lot of entrepreneurs fail because they're afraid of themselves and they're afraid of success. And so the book really dives deep into my own journey with myself, my weight, my addictions, my stress levels, being a Black woman, being afraid, and how I overcame a lot of those struggles to be an entrepreneur, to be a successful woman, to be a media mogul all around the globe. We in Ghana today, we about to be in Kenya in the next interview. And so it took a lot of levels of facing myself in the mirror in order to get there. And so Mind Your Business and Prosper is available at youngbossmedia.com, and it's available for pre-order up until August 17th. That's Marcus Garvey's birthday. If you pre-order it, I will sign it for you and send it with all my love and, good energy and good vibes. And then after that, it will be available on Amazon, and then you can just purchase it. So Mind Your Business and Prosper, a young entrepreneur's guide to being successful. Now that is my time. Love you so much. Good energy to you all. It's raining in New York, but it's all good. Appreciate you for watching. Stay tuned because I have another interview coming up in about 25 minutes. So stay tuned. Peace.